Welcome to FlotasNet. In this video we are going to talk about the dashboard. This functionality is found in the top bar where there are three options: dashboard, traffic productivity, and driver management. Each of these panels is designed for a different profile, although it can be used as you like. It is important to know the data that these indicators handle in order to know what we are visualizing. The data shown automatically by dashboard is the data collected during a whole year up to the current date of the fleet selection. It is important to know that we will have more and more accurate data in the vehicles that have contracted the highest levels with connection to the vehicle's telemetry. To do this, an information I appears next to the name of the panel, which will give us information from the data extract, informing us in case of having any vehicle without telemetry data. Once we understand what data indicators handle, let's see how they are used. The operation of the three panels is similar. We see that several indicators appear with data for a whole year separated by month. If we click on any of these bars, it splits month into weeks, and if we click on a week, it splits into days. We can keep clicking until we get to the analysis of routes and consumption of a vehicle. The information of the entire panel is updated as we click on it. This is the configuration that appears automatically, but if we go to the top right, we see that several buttons appear. Here we can go forward and backward in the filters and in the periods that we have. We also have the full screen option, the option to print the screen, and finally we have the filters button, where we can choose the filters that appear as we click on the indicators. If we choose month, group and enrollment as we click on the graph, this is grouped according to what we have put. It is also important to know that each indicator can be exported in different formats. To do this, we must go to the three lines in the upper right part of the indicator and choose the format we want. We can also put it in the full screen or print the indicator directly. This is the integrated dashboard. On the left side, we see a summary with the most important data collected: number of vehicles, drivers, kilometers traveled, liters consumed, average consumption per vehicle per 100 kilometers, percentage of national kilometers, and countries traveled. On the right-hand side, we have 7 different indicators where the information is further divided. As mentioned above, the filters can be changed, but in this tutorial we are going to work with automized filters. In this indicator we see the sum of kilometers traveled per month. Here we have an analysis of the cost of these routes. This cost is an approximation and it is calculated from the sum of kilometers by the estimated cost provided by the Observatory of Road Transport Costs. In this graph we see the consumption, where the month with the best consumption is marked in green and the month with the worst consumption is marked in red. Below there is a division by month of the percentage of kilometers in national territory. In these three panels we can see a division by month and by type. In the case of the first panel we can differentiate between national kilometers and the rest. To see a comparison of these kilometers, we can click on any of the two to deselect and thus hide this data. The same happens in the other two graphs, where we see information divided into country, both kilometers traveled and time in each country. We can unselect a country in the same way. The second panel is focused on productivity. As in the previous panel, on the left side we see a summary of the total data, and on the right side there are different indicators such as kilometers, distribution of national kilometers, and consumption, which are similar to the panel explained before. The activity indicator gives you the percentage of time your fleet has been active. Speed alarms and alarms show the total number of alarms generated on the platform by the fleet selection. Idle time shows in hours the time your fleet has been idling, which is very important for productivity improvement, and liters show the total liters of petrol consumed. The third panel is oriented at driver management. Firstly, we see in percentage how the vehicles are being used according to the engine torque report. Below are indicators of kilometers and driving hours. On the right side we see a map with countries in blue, which are the countries where the vehicles have circulated, and intensity of the blue varies according to the number of kilometers traveled in that country. And finally, we have an indicator which shows the total number of incidents collected by FlotasNet, an indicator of kilometers traveled without registering the driver, and finally the total number of engine work hours. To summarize, with this functionality we want to make it easier to visualize data and speed up decision making. At a glance you can get an idea of your fleet performance and drivers' productivity.
FlotasNet. Juntos, mejor.